Hello Beauty Squad, it's your girl TeeTee. Welcome back to my channel of all things life, love, and beauty. I hope you guys are staying safe, keeping your asses at home so we can get through this madness. The best advice, as we've all heard, is to keep your butts at home so we can stop the spread of Rona and hopefully get back to some sort of normalcy over the next few months. It's been rough. It's rough for all of us, but we can get through it. And even, I work from home anyway. And so now I feel like I'm really forced to stay in the house, versus I would go out for lunch, go to the mall for lunch, something just to break up my routine and to get out the house. Now I'm forced to stay in the house all day long, which is not a problem for me either, and I'll get into that in a second. But it's been a few weeks now. We've all been stuck in the house, and some people are just going bonkers, right? And I'm gonna tell you some things to do while we work to get through this, how to stay safe and sane in the world of beauty as we know it. Before we get into it though, you know what to do. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends and family. Don't forget Martini Mondays. On our next episode, episode 3, we are talking relationships. And we all know there is so much to talk about as it relates to relationships. But today we're going to talk about what you can do to kind of just keep your sanity through all of this madness that is taking place right now, and especially as it relates to those of us in the beauty industry, and some not wearing makeup every day or getting dressed up every day. I'm going to try to help you guys get through that. So I'm going to tell you guys how to stay safe and sane during this quarantine. Oh Jesus, stay tuned. Okay, so just a few tips on how to stay sane during this lockdown, this quarantine, that that we all have, and definitely praying for those that have been impacted by this. And as I said, I'm just hoping we all get through this quickly, peacefully, and we can get back to some sort of normalcy. But until that time gets here, this is just how I've been keeping myself sane, busy when I'm not working. And so hopefully some of these tips will definitely help you too. The obvious would be, for those of us, for those of you who have rather large makeup collections, I would say organize them. And the one thing, my makeup's already pretty organized because I did it really at the beginning of the year. And as a time killer, going through things again and purging a lot of items. And my makeup taste has changed. So I gave away or are going to be giving away a lot of products I'm just not interested in anymore. And that's a variety of things. It's eyeshadow palettes, it's powders. I had like a million new glosses I hadn't even opened yet. So I gave, some of them, I just gave them away. And I still love a new lip, don't get me wrong, but I had too many. And I hadn't opened them, and I'm going, if I haven't opened them by now, I'm going to just give them away to someone I know that will definitely utilize them a little quicker than me. So definitely organize, purge. Then on top of that, I've realized the makeup that I haven't used. As I said, I had new glosses and lipsticks. I hadn't even opened the packages yet. I had a couple eyeshadow palettes I've used probably a handful of times. And I mean a handful of times. Never picked them up again. Haven't picked them up in over a year. The palette I'm wearing today is Chocolate Gold from Too Faced. This is the last eyeshadow palette that I purchased from Too Faced. And I said, oh my goodness, where has this palette been? And Still smells like chocolate. I haven't picked this palette up. I don't think I used it one time last year. It's a pretty palette. Is it a functional everyday palette now that I look at it? Not so much. They don't have a lot of mattes. It's mainly shimmers. There's 3 mattes in this whole palette here on the corner. One transition shade, then, you know, that smoky shade, and then probably a highlighter here. That's it. Everything else is a shimmer, you know, or pressed powder, pressed shadow in this palette. I liked it when I got it, and I know I used it because I see a couple dents that I've used it, but I'm going to wear this palette. So I broke this out, and that's, you know, what I put on today. And it made me realize a couple palettes, you know, as I did in my Shop My Stash video, you know, I still have to work an interview via video, but just to break up the day sometimes, and I'm looking through my palettes, I'm going, I got some good ones in there that my ass needs to use. And this is just the first one that I started with. And, you know, still a good palette. Again, I haven't picked it up in over a year. It's still good, and it still smells like chocolate. But, you know, a pretty palette. So, along with organizing your makeup, purging makeup, and then utilizing makeup that you have not worn, you have not used, it's still in the package, just like clothing, right? If you haven't used it or worn it, give it away, because obviously you're not going to get to it. And I know we've all been places where we could utilize it, it just wasn't what we wanted to wear at the time. So this has definitely forced me to use some palettes that, you know, I haven't before. And I say that because my makeup style and my taste in makeup has changed. So there's probably a few more palettes I'm probably going to give away as well too, because my makeup has changed. Some of my, I said in one of my last videos, I don't bake nearly as much as I used to. I'm going to hold on to some of the good, you know, some of the powders are really, really good powders. Some I'm just going to give away because I just don't do that as much as I used to. Now it's just more of on a special occasion. Another thing you can do, I struggle with wing eyeliner. I have been practicing my butt off with practicing my wing liner. I use, you know, this MAC liquid eyeliner. I use a pencil from NYX. I don't have it like handy right in front of me. Yeah, I don't have it handy in front of me. But I've been practicing my wing. And I know for me, because I'm right-handed, my right side tends to come out better than the other side. And that's the case with shadow too. So what I've been doing is I start with the left side, you know, first and try to work on perfecting it on that side first and then going to the right side. I love a good wing eyeliner, but I suck at it. But this stay home, this quarantine has given me the opportunity to practice. I have a couple of gel eyeliners I've never opened, never used. This Chanel in front of me, I bought it a few months ago, never used it. So I've been using it because it's been helping me, you know, try to get through my struggle with wing eyeliner. So I have a couple of different things that I'm using, you know, gel and then a couple pencils, just to kind of help me get through that hurdle. Okay, another thing I struggle with is a cut crease a lot of times. And I would like to get creative and, you know, people do the waves and all that. I struggle with that. And I'm just trying to get a normal cut crease now. And I've gotten better. I practice. Now I know really what kind of, you know, foundation or concealer that works better for me. And a couple that work really well for me as it relates to that is definitely this L'Oreal Infallible. And this is a really light shade. It's shade 410. So it's, you know, probably 2 shades lighter than me. It's perfect for cut creases, just like the, I'm going to tell you another one that's good. It's not readily here, but I'm going to say the Colourpop concealer, because it dries down pretty quickly. It gets, you know, it's tacky, and it definitely holds on to whatever color you're trying to, you know, cut your crease with. So I'm working on that you know, too, because I'm trying to get better, get creative at it, and the only way I'm going to do it is if I practice. And that really is the bottom line, is practice, practice, practice. I practice anyway. And I'm just practicing on specific techniques that I struggle with. And I know that we all struggle with some parts, you know, of makeup. If it's lashes, go out, you know, you can still go out for essentials. Go to the drugstore, you know, get some Ardell lashes because they're really good. You can get a pack for $5 or $7, usually under $10. Practice, you know, with those until, you know, you get it right. So this is the time to definitely do that. And again, taking advantage of the time that we all have. Okay. Next suggestion, and I have fallen victim to this too. Shopping online, because obviously we can't go to the mall, and it's easy to shop online because they're offering deals and specials left and right. I mean, Express was just offering 30 or 40% off. I'm like, oh my God. You know, I love their jeans. I love their tops. That's easy. Went to Sephora. You know, they have a 50% off sale right now. Bought a couple of things that I needed. Not that I wanted, but things that I needed, and left it at that because a lot of things were on sale. And I was getting low on some items I use regularly, especially as it relates to complexion, you know, eyeliner, you know, foundations, you know, lip pencils, those things, skincare, you know, that we use pretty regularly that were on sale. So I grabbed, you know, a couple of those. But you got to stop the online shopping, because where the hell you going? let's just be honest. Where are we all going other than to our home office? May it be in the kitchen or the living room, the family room, whatever room it is. We ain't going anywhere right now. But I get it. The sales are tempting, but you got to curb it a little bit. You got to keep yourself busy. And because we're all in the beauty world, beauty is a great distraction. Again, especially if you start organizing your makeup and purging, you know, through your makeup. And I tell you, you know, staying home for me, I've said it a few times here on my channel, I'm 50. So I grew up in the 70s, you know, and the 80s, because I was in high school in the 80s, which I loved. And my generation X, as we know, we're latchkey kids, right? We stayed at home. We got a key to the house at like 8 years old. I had to watch my younger brother, and we sat in front of the TV. We listened to KGFJ or whatever black radio station there was here in LA. KGFJ was one, and K-Day was the other one. We waited for our songs to come on to hit record and record it. You know, we're used to fending for ourselves. You know, being in the house all day, it's nothing. When you get home from school, you know, at 3 o'clock or whatever time, your ass was home alone until your mother got home at 6 or 7 o'clock. So like this, staying in the house is really easy for us. As long as we have What's Happening on TV, The Brady Bunch, Gilligan's Island, we were good. So we're used to this. This is nothing for us Gen X, you know, types of people. And, you know, it's just funny to see how, and don't get me wrong, I've gotten cabin fever a couple of times too, but some people are really losing their minds over staying in the house. But, you know, again, I grew up in a generation where that's just what we did. We kept our asses in the house. Like I said, my younger brother is about 5 years younger than me, so I had to watch him. If I was, you know, 10, he was 5. What am I doing watching a 5-year-old at 10? I'm a kid myself. But that's what we did. We entertained ourselves, and we set our asses in front of the TV with the remote. We knew how to work a toaster oven. We knew not to let anyone in the house, and we knew not to work the stove. So we worked with what we had. I'm not saying the food was all good, you know, because you get used to just meshing together food until your mama got home with dinner and you made it work. So if we can make it work, y'all can make it work too. Moving on. And one of the obvious things would be reading. And I know every year we make these grand resolutions, we're going to read more. I've only read one book so far. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start my second book. I'm going to start my second book. And so I have a Kindle, as you can see. And so I let's see. I picked up, I'm going to read Nelson Mandela's book here, The Long Road to Freedom. One, because it's a novel, so it's a long book and it'll definitely, keep me busy. I love biographies, so I tend to gravitate to a lot of biographies, true stories, real stories, or autobiographies, as well too. And that's where my interests lie. Now, I do love mysteries, and I love anything that's LA, Hollywood, mystery related. So I've definitely started delving into more mysteries as well too. Whodunits are always good, but stepping out of my comfort zone, I haven't read a trashy novel in a while, picked up, grabbed one of those and downloaded, into my Kindle, just because, to break it up. But reading is always good. And I'm also into podcasts. And one that's beauty related that I started following based on a referral from someone else was a podcast called Fat Mascara. And they talk everything beauty. They even introduce you to brands you may not have heard about, or they delve in deeper into some of the brands that we know and really what they do, how they got started, what their goal is, and how they've grown so big into the beauty industry. I also listen to Jamel Hill on, podcasts as well too. And all these are totally attainable through Spotify, and which is always good. So there's plenty of things to do to keep you busy. A lot of it is stepping out of what you would normally do, venture out into something different, other than what you would normally do, and it'll probably help you get through this. You're like, oh, okay, I'm going to try this. This is different. And you might grow to like it. You definitely may grow to like it, but this is the time to try to figure that out. The time to figure out yourself, what you like, what you don't like, and spending obviously more time, with family has been the biggest thing. My husband hasn't gotten on my nerve yet. He's still working, but he hasn't gotten on my nerve yet, and we're just trying to keep him safe. But, those are just a few suggestions that I have as we all struggle to get through this. Do what you need to do. Stay at home. Get creative. Think out of your comfort zone. Do things. Pick up things. Read things that you normally would not read or gravitate to, because you never know what you might find. That's just my message to you. To, still stay safe. Have fun with beauty, as well too. And that's why I say it goes beyond organizing your makeup, purging your makeup, finding things that you haven't worn or used in a while. There's someone that could appreciate that and, give it away. Another thing to do, dropping, food off to, the elderly and things like that, is a plus too. That's an essential, item as well too. And, we can all get through this. We just have to be patient, stay our asses in the house, and get through this, together, as I know that we all can. Those are my tips to get through this crazy time that we are going through. I hope you all stay safe. Take heed to the advice from your local government, because they're telling you for a reason. And for those of us in the beauty world, organize, purge, and you can still put makeup on every day just to feel good about yourself. Because we all know we women just put on makeup for ourselves. Still do that. Give you something to look forward to, and it will help the days not seem so long. That's TeeTee's advice. Let me know what you guys are doing to get through this challenging time that we are going through now. I hope this helps. And until next time, your girl TeeTee is out.